Chances are, if you have clicked on this video and you are listening to me right now, you have heard about this crazy record-breaking Kickstarter that has taken over the internet over the last week. You've probably seen an article from Variety.com, IGN.com, comicbook.com, CNBC, and the list goes on. You've probably seen that and you've wondered to yourself, what is this Critical Role and why is it breaking records on Kickstarter in March 2019? What's so significant about March? If you are that person, first off, thank you so much for coming in, and hopefully in this video I can provide to you a little bit of context, a little bit of helpful insight and information about what on earth is this record-breaking Critical Role thing that is on the internet today. If you're here for facts and really deep details, I'm not really going to be exploring that side of things. There are videos on YouTube talking about that. What I'm going to be providing is sort of my story of Critical Role, my perspective, and really the viewer's point of view on what Critical Role is. Let me preface it with this. The main reason why I'm making this video is, yes, because of this newfound, I guess, audience that Critical Role has garnered over the last week, and there's a lot of people that don't know what it is, right? So I'm making this for you guys. But additionally in that, actually over the last couple of months, I've found myself in situations where I have been attempting to describe what Critical Role is to people that may not know. And it's something that is interesting, but it's hard to explain on the spot. So I kind of want to make this to help me sort of provide some more thought out ideas about what exactly Critical Role is. So let me give a bit of an example so far. For instance, I am in my second year of college right now, and I find myself in a bunch of design classes. That's what I'm taking. I'm going for graphic design. And there are a lot of students in there that I've been talking to and you know, being acquaintances with, and we've been talking about Critical Role. Because I would casually mention something D&D related, or Dungeons & Dragons, if you are unfamiliar. I would casually mention something fantasy related, or something along those lines, and I'd see somebody that was a little interested in that, or may know a little bit about that. So then, in order to create conversation, I would ask that person, hey, are you familiar with Critical Role? And sometimes they have said yes, and sometimes they have said no, but every time they have been intrigued by what I had to explain to them. And in all cases, actually, they either said yes, they knew what it was, or if they said no, they didn't, they ended up finding it interesting and went ahead and actually took a look themselves. In fact, there's a person that I've been talking to that has done exactly that and found the wonderful Grog one-shot that just happened a few weeks ago, found it amazing, and I'm super excited about that. So what is Critical Role? Well, let me talk to you real quick and explain this to you. So Critical Role is a weekly show on Twitch.tv and also put up on YouTube a few days later. In fact, I would go as far to say that their main audience is probably from YouTube, but that's probably because there's so many episodes and they're so long that people are just not quite there to the live show yet. But I have been seeing their live numbers increasing significantly, which is really freaking awesome. But anyways, I digress. It's a weekly show where, what is it, 6 technically? So you got Matthew Mercer. Let me go down the line. You got Matthew Mercer, Liam O'Brien, Sam Riegel, Marisha Ray, Taliesin Jaffe, Travis Willingham. Did I already say Laura Bailey? And I think that is everybody, right? Yeah, that is everybody on the show. And of course, you have Ashley Johnson as well, but she's not able to be there every single week. That's why I kind of forgot about that. But Ashley Johnson is also on there, but you may also know her from Blind Spots on TV. What is so interesting about these people? Well, first off, they're best friends. They're fantastic people to each other. They love each other. Secondly, they're actually really famous voice actors. Matthew Mercer has played a ton of things. In fact, everybody in the cast has played a ton of really significant roles in a lot of different things. Like I said, Ashley Johnson's literally on TV. Matthew Mercer, if you guys are familiar with the game Titanfall 2, Matthew Mercer played the main protagonist in that game, and that story is critically acclaimed. It's fantastic. Point is these guys are very well known in voice acting. That is where they have spent their majority of their professional careers, is voice acting. So you take the fact that they're best friends and voice acting, and then you decide to let them play D&D every single week. Now, what's interesting about Dungeons & Dragons, if you aren't as familiar, the cool thing about D&D is you can play in a variety of different ways, depending on the players, depending on the DM. There's a lot of different things you can do to make it interesting. One thing that people like to do is they play sort of a combat simulator, right? Where they like to do the fighting, like to have battles and really go into the deep details of things. And then you got people that are more role play. They like the story elements of it. You like to actually become in your character and act as if you were your character. And it's very narrative driven. Well, the cool thing about Critical Role is because they're voice actors and they are in the storytelling world, and then you put them in a game that allows them to explore that in a live setting, it creates a really interesting experience to watch. And of course, they also do get into their wonderful battles, and it is glorious. But that's why it is so interesting to watch, because not only are these people just wonderful professionals, in their field, they're also fantastic friends. So you have that cohesiveness between each other. And then you've got the genius storytelling by the DM, Matthew Mercer. This guy is an absolute mastermind. I would go as far to say as he is the greatest storyteller that I have personally ever witnessed. And that may, you know, people elsewhere may have seen better storytellers. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm just saying for me personally, from what I have witnessed, he is the best storyteller. And I find myself most engaged in his stories than anybody else's. And that's just the fact of the matter. So, they're voice actors, they're best friends, and they play a game that allows them to explore that in a live setting. Pretty freaking cool. Well then, you make them do that every single week, live on Twitch for 4 hours or more, depending on the time. And this, I think, is an underrated piece of why Critical Role is so interesting, and why Critical Role is so awesome to be a part of, and something that I think that if you are not familiar with it, I think you really should get into it. Twitch chat. Now, when you look at Twitch chat in general, Twitch chat can be kind of crazy. And if you are at all familiar with Twitch, you would understand that Twitch chat can be pretty nuts in a lot of situations. And that's just the nature of Twitch chat and any feed where you have constant interaction with people. That's just the fact of the matter. But the interesting thing with Critical Role is that it's almost a unified experience, where I seldom, very, very, very seldom notice anybody that is being toxic or trolly or anything like that in the Critical Role chat. And I attribute that largely, majoritively, part to the fact that Critical Role and the cast have created such a community of people around them that love them and love what they do, that they respect them enough to not have trolly interactions in the chat. And something that I personally enjoy is when I'm watching something big on Twitch, for instance, an esport event or Critical Role or something along those lines. Seeing Twitch chat, for me, allows me to connect to what is happening even more so. So when it comes to Critical Role, and you have the chat being so engaged and so excited about what's happening, you go into Twitch chat 10 minutes before the show goes live, and you see everybody in chat saying, "Bidet from Ireland, bidet from New York, bidet from Cleveland." That's what I like to throw in there. It's just a really cool, neat experience where it's as if you're in a movie theater and people are walking in and they're finding their seats saying, "Hey, how you doing? I'm super glad I'm here, super excited for the episode tonight." It's a really interesting experience to be a part of, and I think that is one reason for myself specifically why I find Critical Role to be so awesome and really, I'm being honest here, an experience every single week. Now, let me explain a little bit more about why Critical Role is so interesting to me and what exactly it is for myself. Because of my love for the story, my love for the cast and the characters and how everything is done, it has become, really since I started watching it, a thing that I look forward to in my week, right? When you talk to just anybody who's in the workforce, you ask them, you know what I just realized? I've recorded this entire video with this not on. Oh! That was supposed to be on this entire time. Oh, man. When you ask anybody who is in the workforce, right? Somebody who works 40 hours a week or even part-time or whatever the case may be, right? They work, okay? You ask them, like, what do you look forward to most in your week? What's the first thing they say? The weekend, right? Because they don't have to work. They get to relax. It is that thing that drives them from Monday through Friday. It drives them to get to Friday at 5 o'clock when they get to clock out of work. That is the thing that drives them. They are excited to get to that point. Well, for me, ever since I have started watching Critical Role has been that for me, right? I have, since I started watching the show, I was in high school, and then I immediately went into college, and at the same time, I'm also working. So college and working at the same time. So I'm a really, really busy person, especially this semester. But I'm really, really busy. But the one thing that excites me to get through my week, to keep grinding through the week, is Thursday nights. Because I don't really have much of a weekend, the way that my schedule works. But Thursday nights are the night where I am excited to finally get to that point. And when I get to that point, I'm like, yes, the week's almost over. Yes, I'm getting closer. We're almost there. When I hit Thursday night and I get to watch Critical Role, it's an event for me. It really is. And for the last year, haven't been able to do it as much over the last few weeks, but last year specifically, it's actually allowed something really awesome for myself. My Nana and I have a mutual love and passion for Critical Role. We're both super RPG people. We love storytelling and things like that. So naturally, we're both super, super into Critical Role. Well, one thing that Critical Role has allowed us to do is it has allowed us to have a reason to see each other every single week. So this is what we do. Every Thursday night, I go over to my Nana's at a variety of different time periods, anywhere from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I get over to her house, and we're in Eastern time zone, so that's when 10 o'clock is when the show starts. I get over to her house, we have some dinner, we chat, we do some various things, whatever the case may be. But then at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we sit down in the den, turn on Critical Role, and we watch Critical Role for the next 4 hours until either I fall asleep or she says she's going to go to bed, or we're just so engaged that we watch the entire episode, and then we're up at 2 o'clock in the morning, just buzzed out of our mind, and like, oh man, I don't think I can go to bed now. It happens every single week. It's an event for me, and it's something that I look forward to because I get to experience that every week with my Nana, and we get to just experience wonderful storytelling and great camaraderie from the cast. It's just a really awesome thing to be a part of. I think I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stop it there. I think I've explained well enough why Critical Role is so interesting, what exactly it is. Like I said, I'm not going to like detail you what Critical Role is, but I'm going to provide to you the cliff notes and then explain what it is to me and what it is for many people in the critter community. I hope I have done a good job of explaining that. I probably went everywhere in this video, and I apologize if it was hard to follow, but I really just wanted to sit down and be able to just talk about what this is. I've been super into it. I mean, me and my Nana did literally like a podcast every week after the episodes last year. I mean, it was fantastic. I loved it. It's just something that I really love, and I love seeing more people loving it as well. It's a really, really great thing to be a part of. And I'm super excited for more people to be getting involved. So I hope I did it justice. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments. Any thoughts? What is your experience with Critical Role? Do you have any interesting stories about how you watch it every week? I'd really, really be interested to see what you guys are into when it comes to Critical Role. But if you guys have enjoyed what you have seen today, feel free to subscribe. I actually wouldn't mind doing more Critical Role stuff on the YouTube channel here in the future, if I have the time. But yeah, follow me on Twitter if you guys are interested, twitter.com/BuckeyeGG. But anyways, I'll see you critters in the next one. And of course, is it Thursday yet? Bye, guys.